what's it like being a human? It's such a great thing because you came with such clarity. Oh, I want to be there. I want to engage. And I want to sift and sort. And you felt so powerful and sure of yourself. I want to decide. And you knew that your decisions would be uplifting and of value because you were totally in that energy of love and expanding and unfolding. Your knowledge of freedom and growth and joy were all so strong within you. And so you present yourself into this physical experience and you go, whoa, there's a lot here. But your observational powers, your see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, is not that active in the beginning. And you are a really feeling person. On the broadcast last Wednesday, a woman sent a video and she said, my 2-year-old, when we read a story, if the story has a scary part or an uncomfortable part, he just closes the book, doesn't want to hear any more. In the moment that it turns from a happy story to a not happy story, it just closes the book. That tells it all, because that child, without any discussion or understanding of anything like we're doing here, that child can feel that this book is taking a departure from how he usually feels and how he wants to feel. In other words, his guidance system is so active and on point. Now, the world that wants to socialize him says, no, you need to buck up. You need to face reality. You need to accept that there are things that happen in the world. You need to be strong. But his inner being is saying, those Akashic records are not what they're cracked up to be. Your inner being is saying, you had intentions, little guy, when you came here. And they're very clearly laid out in very general form. You are a lover. You are an uplifter. You are in your power. You love life. And that story is taking you off in a direction that is not natural to the whole of who you are. Stay with us. So the little guy grows up a little, goes to school. Some kids are happy, some kids aren't. Some kids are rude, some kids are nice. Some kids are insecure, some kids are secure. Some kids are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, some kids aren't. Same with the teachers, same with parents. So as the little guy is growing up, he's having a lot of exposure to a lot of things. But his guidance system is remaining true. When it isn't true, it feels bad. Every single time, it feels bad. Now, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, having more exposure to more life, becomes like this guy, really been evaluating a lot of things. Don't even think that God exists, because I see so much in religion that can't possibly be whatever that should have been. In other words, we're putting a little bit of words in your mouth, but there's a lot of that you meant to say. So now you become these adaptive humans. Adaptive. What are you adapting to? Now hear this. You are doing your best to adapt to your path of least resistance, which means you duck when somebody socks you. You don't stand in protest against the things that feel wrong. You become one who sort of acquiesces, which is in many ways following your path of least resistance. But what's really happening to you is that you are little by little by little by little by little choosing to trust that and trust that and trust that and trust that, which is all over the place, instead of that. Then you get older and you really, really care, because life is moving all over the place and your happiness is being challenged many times in every day. As you reach out into the world and hear different things, you just don't feel as good as you used to, or you just don't feel as good as you want to, which means you're asking in a stronger way. And so Esther shows up, or someone like Esther shows up, or you find religion somewhere. You find something that calls you toward the fullness of who you are. And it's confusing at first until you begin to figure out what the game is. It's confusing at first until you finally are convinced. And it's a rare one of you who really is convinced. You're supposed to feel good. You are supposed to be happy. You are not broken, and you're not flawed, and you're not inappropriate. You're not here proving something. You are already all of that. And every blessing that you can imagine is flowing to you. The only question is, are you letting them in or not? And the answer is yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. Until it really gets to be a strong asking. And the stronger asking globally that is happening, the stronger answer is happening. Until then, some, in fact, larger and larger numbers, begin to understand that you have the ability to feel good no matter what's going on around you, because you have the ability to focus and selectively sift from what's going on around you into harmony with the wholeness of who you are. And then your life becomes fantastic. Your prosperity and your vitality and your health and your clarity and the wonderfulness of life just keeps happening and happening and happening. Esther always gets an escort from her sleeping room to the backstage area because it's complicated back there. And she always asks whoever is guiding her where the bathroom is back there, because you all are in the bathrooms out here. She loves you very much. But she forgot to ask that question today, which is something that is really, really important to her. And so she was sitting backstage and suddenly realized that she hadn't asked the person. So she wandered out into the hallway and walked down around the corner and found the cooks in the kitchen. And she went into the kitchen. She said, "Can I ask you a question? Do you know where the women's bathroom is back here?" And he said, "Oh, are you the speaker?" Esther said, "Yes." He said, "Let me think." And he walked that way, and then he walked that way, and then he walked that way, and then he walked that way. And then he said, "Oh, it's this way." As they were walking, he said, "What's your name?" And Esther told him her name, and he lit all up. Esther said, "How do you know my name?" And he said, "Because I'm this many years old, and I've been looking for answers, and I've found some answers." And Esther thought, that's why I didn't ask the other lady where the bathroom was. Because the path of least resistance for William and for Esther were to have that rendezvous. That's how life works. In other words, you didn't decide that you're going to figure everything out all at once. Your inner beings are always causing the rendezvous that feel the best. And as Esther walked back and sat down, she thought, because she'd been making notes of how I feel, energized, exhilarated, worthy. She wrote, happy, really, really happy, really, really happy, really, really happy, blessed. Your inner being is always calling you to that rendezvous, and to that one, and to that one, and to that one, and to that one. And so the answer to all of this, the way to get there often is not by waiting until you're in the middle of something and say, "Oh, how did I get here?" But before you step into the segment where the field of attraction is always active. Who am I? How do I feel? Identify your feeling. Think some thoughts that help you to get to that feeling, and then step in to this segment, and then see the way the law of attraction has its way with you. Then see how much of all of those magnificent things that you're asking for, and all of those magnificent things you are worthy of, see how the universe, through the law of attraction and your inner being's calling, call you on this path of never-ending fun and fulfillment and reward and satisfaction and new opportunities and new openings. And don't ask people. Now, think about what we just said. Esther asked the cook. She asked the cook, "Where's the bathroom?" Or was she guided to the cook? Because he had more for her than where the bathroom was. Can you feel the difference? He looked friendly. He looked open. She just walked right into the kitchen. "Hello. Can you tell me where the bathroom is?" She was tuned in, tapped in, turned on. If she wasn't, she would have never found the bathroom. You can't get to where you want to be. Everything gets in the way. Have you ever had a day like that? If anything could go wrong, it did. Well, that's because of what you've got going on vibrationally. The law of attraction is profoundly accurate in every single moment. And your guidance system is profoundly helpful in every single moment. Anything that came before, in this lifetime or otherwise, is irrelevant, because your inner being knows where you are right now and where the bathroom is. And what the path of least resistance is to get to it. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment. With this, and it will be fast. So what's up?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a kidney transplant last year, and it failed. And every day...
So they gave you a different kidney, and it's acting just like the old kidney?
Yes.
What do you think the common denominator is?
Me?
Yeah. How you feel about it?
I knew I had to get here today, even in pain, even in discomfort. And my dominant intention every day is to feel good in my body.
It's hard to do, though, under these conditions.
I have to. And I need to know I can maintain that every day.
Well, if you have to do something you can't do, then you're in a tough spot. So maybe you ought to lighten up on yourself and stop saying I have to do it, and instead say, I've done quite a bit, and my vortex is full of my intentions, and my inner being's all over it. And the cells of my body are in concert with my inner being. How long did it take them to tell you that it has failed?
It was as perfect as it could be until it wasn't, and that was a matter of...
So, there could not be better words. It was working until it stopped. It was going in the right direction, and so it can go in the right direction again. Yes. It can go in the right direction again. It can go in the right direction again. It can. And as far as what your inner being knows, it already has. You know, the intensity of your desire has caused an attraction power that is just sublime. When you want something like that, it's big. What's going on there is big. And so don't try to figure out how it's going to evolve. Don't try to figure out, well, is somebody going to bring me another kidney? Just know that not only the outcome, but the path to it is already lined up. And you're asking yourself to do something that is not humanly easy, but it is non-physically
I don't live by human rules.
The simplest thing in the world. It's like, I can't do this red hot minute, but I can feel better instantly. You can change an emotion in a heartbeat. You can't manifest in a heartbeat, but you can change the way you feel in a heartbeat. And so, two things we're encouraging you. Don't let yourself get too low before you try to find a better feeling. Get after it. Our friend that said, what's the first thing that you think in the morning? That was a really good conversation to have. Get after it early. And if you don't, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. You don't have to be happy every day from here until you get the news that it's turned around for it to turn around. You just have to feel better more than you don't feel good. And we think that this conversation that we had here today, we don't care about your failing kidney or whatever this is about. What's this about? We don't care. Don't tell us. It doesn't matter. What is irrelevant to your inner being, who's only looking where you've projected what your true intent is, and your true intent is a reality. Your inner being isn't making it up. You created it. Your inner being's just focused upon it. It's not imaginary. You created it. Your inner being's focused upon it. It's real. Cooperative components are already being gathered. It's real. It's real, and it's done. It's real and it's done, but it doesn't feel done because I'm still getting these reports from past observation. So we just have one poignant question to ask you. Those who are doing kidney viability tests, you know, the keepers of the kidneys, are they looking at what is, or are they looking at what is? Well, then don't pay any attention to them. They don't know. They don't know where the ideas are going to come from, or how powerful your desire is, or what things are lined up for you. They don't know. They mean well, and you adore them, and they can be so helpful in so many ways, but they don't know. Anybody that's looking at what is slowing down what is becoming. You got to look for the vibrational version of it, and then have the pleasure of witnessing the vibrational version of it turn into the physical version of it. It's the thoughts turning to things that is the deliciousness of life. That's what you all came from. That's why you didn't just stay up here in the nebulous ethers with us. Helpful? Yeah.
Yes.
Helpful. Don't pray for her. Because when you pray for her, you're looking at what is. Oh, please help her get over this. Please help her get over this. Celebrate with her.